Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Colin Fry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The gentleman that's trying to connect to me here is giving me this sensation of loving Will Hay films. I know his dad, and I keep getting this very strong impression of the name George. Lady down here, stand up for me, sweetheart. George.
Yeah.
So all he kept calling out was George, George.
That's what he did.
And he called women it as well.
Yeah,
He's talking about how he used to steam open a wage packet so that he could slip a £1 note out so that he could do a sneaky one at the bookies before he took the wage packet home. He would laugh and joke about everything in life. You know, you could never get anything serious out of him until it came to the end of his life, and then he took the end of his life very seriously.
He did, yeah. As soon as Colin Fry said George, that was my dad. He called everybody George. And just the way that Colin Fry said, you know, he even calls women George, which was what my dad did. And my dad used to work for a big company, and on the way home on his motorbike, he'll take some money out of the wage slips, out of the wage packets, and just make it look like, you know, it wasn't open, and then just put it on the table. And when my mum questioned, you know, if the envelope ever looked open, the wage packet, she'd blame it on, my father would blame it on one of us. It would be one of us who took the extra money out. But it was my father taking it to the betting office.
Who used to boil fish heads?
My mum. For the dog.
Would you be able to understand he would not come into the house until the smell of boiling fish heads had been...
Yeah. He hated the smell of fish.
And he'd used to come in the door and say, "You've been boiling those bleeding fish." He's really, really grateful that, in fact, that you've fallen out with 3 people since he's passed over because they've spoken badly of him.
Yes.
So just saying, I want to thank you for not only saying that I was your dad, but I was your best friend as well. Because nobody had ever said that about me, that I was their best friend.
My father was my best friend. I did actually whisper that to him when he passed away that morning at 4:30. I knew I let go of my best friend as well as a father. My mother used to cook the fish heads. It wasn't for my father, obviously it was for the dogs. And he should feed them to the dogs, obviously, but my father just couldn't stand the smell of fish. And they always used to argue every time Mum cooked fish.
And I want to go back a bit, my love, and you don't look that old. And he said, do you understand the joke about I'd rather you wear a bleeding mini-skirt than a white mini-skirt? No, that was your mum. What on earth is this about him going nuts over a white mini-skirt?
I don't know.
Can you check into that?
Yeah.
Because I think if you can find out about it.
Oh, I remember now. We were at the we used to have a restaurant in Stamford, and she came once in this long skirt, and he said he didn't like it. Can she make it shorter?
And she did.
She never. She just turned it up.
No, she did. She lifted it up.
She turned it up at the waist.
So it looked like a white miniskirt.
Well, it was short, yeah.
And were you around the night she clocked him around the back of the head with a saucepan?
Yeah. 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 When Colin Fry mentioned about the white skirt, I actually had, it was my mother, I actually had a mini skirt on, and he said that we used to own a restaurant, and what he said was if Mum made a skirt up, we can get more customers in the shop, in the restaurant. So Mum rolled it up at the hem, and he only made her do that once.
He just said to me, he said, can you tell my girl, oh, I'm so sorry that I collapsed in tears in front of her and embarrassed her. I just got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore. All right, take the energy away because it's getting to me. I'll leave his love and best wishes with you, darling. He's an amazing, amazing man. God bless.
Thank you. Out of all them people this evening, I was one of the ones that were chosen, and there was hundreds of people in in that cinema tonight. You know, and Colin Fry picked me. It wasn't so much Colin Fry picked me, my father picked Colin Fry. And I will always be grateful for that. Watching Colin Fry on TV, I've always sat there while I'm watching him and thinking, this can't be happening. He can't know so many people's lives, but he does.
I've got a man with me now, and I don't think this is his name because he's telling me the name of Margaret. And but I know that this lovely man who knows Margaret would have had an illness, because he keeps showing me his hospital bed and he keeps showing me like the tubes, and they're checking up on him, and he's got tubes on his nose and he's really not happy about it. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say Alf or Ralph, because I heard that name really quick. So I've kind of got that kind of name going on in my head, Ralphie, Alfie, that kind of name. Hello, sweetheart. What do you understand?
My dad's name was Alfie and my mum's name's Margaret.
Okay, are they both in the spirit world?
My dad is.
Not your mum. But he keeps talking about the age of 62. So if I know that I have to talk about 62, as far as your dad's concerned, that from the age of 62, and I don't mean this horribly, he really weren't your dad anymore. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He might as well have been where he is now. Yes? When your dad found out he was seriously ill, it was a bit of a shock to him. One minute I'm telling him that I don't feel right, I'm a bit poorly, and I'm a bit wobbly. The next minute they've got tubes up my nose and I've got things in my arms, and they're telling me that I'm not going to make it. Do you understand?
I do.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, she started shaking straight away because my grand's name's Margaret and my granddad's name's Alfie.
Yeah, my dad had been ill for 11 years and had 8 heart attacks as well as emphysema. And he'd been in hospital for 6 weeks previously, and he was allowed home on the Tuesday the week before he died, and he died a week later with at home with oxygen tubes.
But I feel like with your mum, she's been ignoring things as well, like brushing it off, I'll be all right, I'll be okay. So I know that your mum didn't go for help or didn't go for treatment as quick as she possibly could have. Now, you need to get all that guilt out of your head that you should have known, you should have seen it, you should have made her, Your mum is never going to do as they're told. Do you understand?
Yeah, definitely.
She's been here quite a few years now, hasn't she, And you take after her, don't you?
I do.
Exactly. So if someone told you what to do, what would you say? Let me get on with it, just like your mum. And I know that she's a bit, oh, my word, your dad showed me her being a little bit boisterous with you all as well, and it's like, stop fussing, leave me alone, stop fussing, okay? And it's like, you don't need to be here, go home. You must give her big kisses from him as well, and she'll be like, oh, get off. But you do have to give big kisses. He really likes to kiss your mum right here in the centre of her forehead, which is where you kissed him goodbye, isn't it, darling? Here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where you kissed your dad goodbye, and that's where he wants you to give your mum a big kiss from him, okay? Because that makes your mum his little girl again, okay? Because that's very tender, isn't it, when a man kisses you there?
I was with my dad when he passed away, when he took his last breath, and so I kissed him on the forehead as well and told him to sleep peacefully now. My mum had been ill for quite a while, and then they found out that she had cancer, but she hadn't been diagnosed immediately with that, and then she had a hip. The treatment caused her to have a pathological break in her hip, and she kept saying about the pain in her groin, and they found out that she'd been walking on a broken hip for 18 months.
Kisses to you, kisses to the lovely lady sat next to you as well, okay?
That's his granddaughter.
It's like, all over your face, okay? Oh, you've got pink on, that's changed then, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's better than all that black and all that black stuff around your face. He don't like that, okay? He loves you loads, baby, and he hears you talking to him as well, all right? So don't you think he doesn't, okay? Yes? Keep singing as well, he does like it, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think he ain't standing there at the side watching you sing going, that's my granddaughter, that's my granddaughter? Hey, sometimes he's alone in the spirit world because he gets on everybody's nerves talking about you, okay? All right?
Thanks. I'm a performer and I sing, dance and act, and it's just really, him to say that has just really given me another confidence boost, because like auditions and that are really slowed a minute, and that's just really given me the boost to try again. And that he said that he listens to me sing is just so nice to hear.
Lots of love to both of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what? Okay.
ever since I was younger, because of what happened to me, I've always believed in this sort of thing, and now I didn't think I could believe anymore, but I can.
Yeah, you make me watch the programme on telly, don't you?
Yeah, always.
Because when Amy comes to visit, she catches up on everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got to watch.
I'd recommend it.
Every time you find her, she's there in the television with Colin Fry.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time on Colin Fry Live.